Well, good afternoon, Hammers. Hope you're safe and well, Russian Western Network. Um, we're through to the next round. We're through to the next round. Let's just leave it like that. Thank you and good night. Don't forget to share and subscribe. No, obviously, we beat the mighty Lincoln City 1-0 at the LNER Stadium, and it was well. It wasn't a comprehensive game that we thought it was going to be, but did we actually? We know there's still an inherent West Ham about us, so I'm not surprised that we didn't. We made hard work of it, and Moisey put out quite a scratch side, in all honesty. But usually I would do the ratings, but I didn't see the game. I only heard the game through Anton's fantastic commentary. But a man who was at the game was Mr. John Ratomski, who sent us lots of videos during the actual live stream, sort of give us a bit of atmosphere. It sounded really, really loud, really rocking atmosphere. About 10,000 people there, complete sellout there, which was absolutely phenomenal. And I asked his ratings, so he's given me his ratings, and I'll go through them. Give you some of the stats of that particular player for his game, and Ratomski's ratings. It does itself. It says itself, doesn't it? Alliteration. So let's start with Mr. Fabianski. Where's this? Let's get up Fabianski. So we do exactly the same, but we won't do it live. Now, Fabianski obviously played the whole game. He made 5 saves. He did 2 saves from inside the box. Apparently, a great save for one-handed save against the Lincoln striker. He had 51 touches in the entire game. 91% pass completion rate, and won both of his ground duels, was fouled once, and apparently made one successful dribble attempt. John Ratomski gave Lucas Fabianski a 7. And looking around at the other journalists, it seems 7 and 8 was sort of the average score for him, which was great. Let's move on, and obviously that's the first clean sheet we've kept in this season, isn't it? I believe. Let's talk about Tilo Kehrer. Obviously, he went with Tilo Kehrer, who played obviously sent right back like he did previously. Does seem to be his role now as the backup right back, and maybe that can progress and actually develop into a first team right back if Vlad's not playing very well, that type of thing. In terms of his stats for the game, he what did he do? He had 87 touches. He had 85% pass completion rate, 1 key pass, 4 crosses. With only 1 accuracy, long balls 5 out of 4, aerial duels 2 out of 2. Ground duels 7, lost 5, lost possession 17 times though. 1 foul, 3 fouls against him. John was very complimentary of Tilo, said he did a good job, and also gave him a 7. John's very good, very generous with his ratings, just as much as he's generous with his time supporting the Iron Football Food Bank. So make sure there'll be a link in the description, and make sure you keep an eye and donate if you can to that fantastic cause. Let's talk about Ogbonna, Angelo Ogbonna, captain, skipper. A better showing than against TSC, let's be honest. He played the full 90 minutes. He made 104 touches, 96% completion rate, 50% on his long ball accuracy. What else? Any fouls? No fouls. Wasn't fouled. No ground duels, no aerial duels. So he had a reasonably easy night, really, to be fair, and lost possession 4 times. So for a defender not to have any ground duels or aerial duels is a bit weird on these stats, but hey ho, is what it is. John Ratomski gave Angelo another 7. There's a theme. There's a theme with John Ratomski's ratings, with the Ratomski ratings. Let's talk about Mavropanos. Another game for him, for Dinos. Obviously, on the right-hand side of the 2, with Angelo playing on the left-hand side. In terms of his stats, 128 touches, 91% completion rate in passes. He attempted 119 passes, 15 long balls with 10 accurate, so that's not too shabby. He lost possession 12 times. He was bringing it forward quite a bit, it seems. It seems he was doing the legwork in terms of defensive duties, in that the ground duels, and he won 2 out of 2, aerial duels 2 out of 2. So he was doing all the donkey work, where it says where Angelo was just chillaxing at the back. John Ratomski, unsurprisingly, gave him a 7. Let's talk about who's next. Let's talk about Ben Boy Johnson. First start this season, I want to say, for the former academy player who we know is actually, we're not going to offer a new contract by the sounds of it. He's gone in the summer. He again played the full 90 minutes, 3 clearances, 2 tackles. He had 17 ground duels. He won 10 of them. 4 aerial duels, won 3 of them. Lost possession 17 times. I think we can see from the wing play how much possession was actually lost there. 114 touches, 89% completion rate, 7 long balls, and 4 accurately on target. 4 dribble attempts, all successful. So I don't know how he lost possession so much. Now, John was a little bit critical on Benny Boy Johnson, and actually gave him a 6. He said, and that was because of poor crosses. Did he do any crosses? Yeah, he had. Well, technically, according to Sofa Score, he had 2, and both were unsuccessful. Let's talk about who's next. Who's next on the thing? Let's talk about Tommy Soucek, the goal scorer. Tommy's stats: 90 minutes, 77 touches, 87% pass completion rate, 2 crosses, 1 accurate, 7 long balls, 4 accurate. Ground duels, he won all. He didn't win any. 3, none. He didn't win any. Aerial duels, 5 he had, and 1 4. Lost possession 11 times, 4 clearances, and 1 dribbled past. Score, whatever that means. Now, John Ratomski gave Tommy Soucek an 8, and he's man of the match. Partly because, I quote, according to John, it was because of his grit and goal. That sounds like a 70s cop drama, doesn't it? Grit and goal. Just one day away from retirement. Let's talk about Pablo Fornals back in the side. Again, me and Anton spoke about him a little bit after the game. There was a number of players, I think, who didn't take advantage again. And I think Pablo was one of those players again. Didn't have a great game by all accounts. Didn't have a fantastic game. He was substituted after 66 minutes. In the 66 minutes he had, 44 touches, 76% pass completion rate. No accurate crosses, no long ball crosses, no dribble attempts. He won 50% of his ground duels. He won 30%, 33 and a third percent of his aerial duels. Lost possession 11 times, a couple of clearances, a couple of tackles. I think he's on the wind. I think he's on the wind down personally for his contract. But regardless of that, John Ratomski gave him only a 6. He said it wasn't a great game for Fornals. No, my apologies. He gave him a 7. My apologies. Ignore that. He gave him a 7. He gave Pablo Fornals a 7. I didn't think he had a very good game personally, but I wasn't there. So in terms of the commentary, didn't seem to be talking a lot about Fornals, if that makes sense. Let's talk about who's next. Let's talk about Cornet. Now we're talking about Fornals not taking his chance. By all accounts, Cornet was very anonymous, according to John. In terms of his stats, he started on the right-hand side of the 3 behind Danny Ings. He was taken off after 66 minutes. 29 touches, 85% pass completion rate, 3 crosses, 1 on target, ground duels 1, 1 out of 4. Didn't win his aerial duels, was fouled once, fouled someone as well. Lost possession 8 times in 66 minutes. Again, didn't take his opportunity, I don't think. Definitely hasn't done enough to upset, the apple cart in terms of that attacking 3 or attacking 2 or however Moisey sets up the side for Sheffield United. But it wasn't a great game for Cornet. John, 6, anonymous. That was his quote. Cornet went anonymous. Was anonymous, yeah. Not anonymous as in like the hacking group. He was, you know what I mean. Let's talk about Kudus. Kudus getting another start, playing in the middle, sort of in the 10 role, which is by all accounts his preferred role. Not a bad game by all accounts. 75, played the full 90, 75 touches, 95% pass completion rate, which is critical for that number 10 slot for sure. Key passes 2. Crossing was a bit wayward. He had 8 crosses, didn't get one on target. His long ball's a lot better, 100%, 7 out of 7. He attempted 7 dribbles and 4 were successful. A couple of shots blocked, 1 on target, 1 big chance missed. Ground duels 113 he had and 1-5, but he's quite a small fella. Lost possession 23 times. That seemed to collect. I think we lost possession. I think Andrew said 100 and something times, which was absolutely crazy against a League One side. Yeah, it wasn't the best. What did John Ratomski give Kudus? He gave Mohamed Kudus a 7 for the Ratomski ratings. Let's talk about who's next. Let's go with Benny. Ben Rama back in the side, playing on that left-hand side of the front, or the sort of the front 4, front 3. 90 minutes, 67%, 67 touches, only a 72% pass completion rate. He only did just shy of 40 passes that whole game. 11 crosses, 2 on target, so to speak. 1 of 1 in terms of 100% for his long balls. Shot on target, he tried 7 dribbles and was successful for 3. Lost possession 30 times, losing a lot of ball. John wasn't very complimentary on Ben Rama. Let's just say that. In fact, I believe he got the wooden spoon from John Ratomski. 5. He gave Benny a 5. Quote, John said, couldn't offer the extra class. And John is a very classy man. So don't forget to subscribe he's on the Twitter for Irons Food Banks. Don't forget to donate to the Irons Food Banks as well. Be a classy person like John is. And Benny wasn't last night. Who's next? Let's go with Danny Ings. Not the best day for Danny, in all honesty. 90 minutes, played the full 90 minutes. He had 1 shot off target, which was pretty much should have been on target. And you can see it on Twitter. Should have been on target. We'll just say that. 3 dribble attempts, 2 successful, 39 touches, 85% pass completion rate. 2 balls, both accurately on target. Ground duels 1, 4 out of 3. Sorry, 3 out of 4, which isn't too bad considering he's only a wee fella. He lost possession 9 times, offside once, a couple of clearances. There was talking about how he's probably more effective in defence than he was in attack, and 1 tackle. But Tomsky's comments were simply, Ings, awful finishing. That's why he gave him a 6. So that was the Ratomski ratings. As I said, please, if you can, donate to the Iron Supporting Food Banks. They'll be at the if you're going to the ground, they'll be at the aquatic centre or just near the aquatic centre. They can take your cards as well as any spare change you've got, or if not, go. We'll have a link in the description. So make sure you give them a couple of quid or whatever, because it's a fantastic cause, and John's a fantastic person, and someone who does a lot of work which goes under the radar, if that makes sense. So he is literally traveling the full breadth of the country, distributing stuff for the benefit of, well, not even for the benefit of West Ham fans, but for the benefit of other groups who work with in the sort of the food banks distribution group, that type of thing. So he's he'll send me a picture and he's got like a car full of dog food, which he's sending to Stoke or whatever, Anyway, we'll be back Hammers Headlines later on, and then we'll start in the road to the Sheffield United game at London Stadium on Saturday. So we'll have all the previews, we'll have the reviews, we'll have the starting 11s, all that type of stuff. So keep on the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Obviously, we're into the hat. We drew Arsenal at home. That time we played on the week we commenced on the 30th of October. So after obviously we play Everton on the Sunday. So we're probably playing Arsenal on the Wednesday, I'd imagine. Probably say, what's that, 2nd probably. And I imagine that could be on telly. Or at least it'll be covered, unlike yesterday's game. But Anthony did a fantastic job commentating. And hopefully you appreciated that, because it's not easy to do that when you're not watching. You're actually listening and trying to feedback. And yeah, but he did a great job. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Don't forget to give it a like. Always helps out. Comment, share it about, spread the word of the Iron Supporting Food Banks as well. And we'll be back in a few hours' time. Take care. Bye-bye.